there, I'm Lucia, and you're listening to Stories of Ordinary Lives. You know, we're often told that to be interesting, we need to be famous, rich, or powerful. But I believe that every single one of us has a story, and that's what this podcast is all about. Each episode, I sit down with someone you've never heard of, but whose story deserves to be told. They're not celebrities, businessmen, or world leaders. They're your neighbors. The person behind you in line at the grocery store is someone halfway across the world living a life that might seem a million miles from yours. From bustling cities to remote villages, we are exploring the rich tapestry of human experiences, often hidden in a plain sight. We are challenging the idea that only the famous have stories worth sharing. And through these stories, we are scaling kindness, one conversation at a time. So join us as we practice the art of truly listening, uncover surprising commonalities across cultures, and reveal the extraordinary nature of ordinary lives. Because when we really listen to each other, we find that our stories aren't so different after all. Welcome to Stories of Ordinary Lives, where every life tells a tale worth hearing. Hello, my name is Lucia, and welcome to Stories of Ordinary Lives. So this is very first episode, and I don't actually have any guests right now because this one will be very short, and it's really just saying hello to everyone and kind of explaining what led me to start this podcast. So I've been listening to podcasts for a very long time. And, well, not as long as other people, I guess. I don't know when podcasts became famous, but I think I became a podcast person throughout COVID. And I listen to podcasts when I run, usually. That's when I have time. And I love Andrew Huberman, Huberman Lab, and Rich Roll podcast, and the Diary of CEO, and others. But these are my main ones. And the other day I was running on Saturday. I had a long run, and it was actually Huberman was the first time on the Diary of CEO podcast. So Stephen and Andrew in one room. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And, Andrew was talking about his life, and I was just like, oh man, I feel like we have so much in common. And then I was thinking, you know what, don't get me wrong, I know he and Stephen, they both reached or achieved amazing things. There's no doubt about that. But I'm kind of thinking, there is so many people who think in fairly similar way as they do, and, trying to do similar things as they do, and maybe they do. They're just not famous, and they're just, living their life, and they're living in a system which is predetermined to a huge degree. I just want to kind of give chance to other people to also talk about their lives and how they feel about things, because I think in the end of the day, we're going to hear very similar thoughts. And I also want to give a voice to people around the world. And it's mainly because where I'm from, people kind of assume that people are so very different on the other side of the planet, and they are not. And sometimes I'm guilty of that kind of assumption myself. I can be biased, and I can assume that different cultures, religion, and all of that have a different lives, but I don't think they do. And I've been traveling for a bit, and I met so many people, and I was like, oh my God, you're literally same as I am. And you were born in a different culture on the other side of the planet. And here we are together. And yeah, we are the same. And I don't know if it's a globalization, maybe, but I'm kind of hoping that if we give voice to people we can't really share table with, we can't go for dinner with because they are not our close proximity. If we give them the voice, if we hear their stories, we find understanding we didn't find before. And yeah, that's what I want to do here. And I want to do it for myself. I want to be better in active listening. I think we often really think about the answer rather than trying to understand the person in front of us. So that's my personal goal, to be a better listener. And then one of the big goals of this is also scaling kindness. I know that sounds a bit odd, but I was thinking about it the last year. I was like, well, what can I do? Where can I have impact? What's my meaning? What's my purpose? And yeah, I sent a message to someone where I mentioned that I'm hoping that being kind to others can create like a ripple, and echo into eternity. Yes, that's from a Gladiator movie. I love that. I love that phrase. And so I'm hoping this might maybe scale kindness, I don't know if that's the case, maybe not. But yeah, if nothing else, I'm going to try, because I love listening to stories of other people. So I think it's going to be really cool. Well, I hope so. So yeah, I guess wish me luck, and now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna find the first guest. And yeah, it's gonna be just an ordinary person, Nothing extremely exciting, unless you think every person is exciting in some way, which I think it's true. So yeah, I'll see you another time. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to Stories of Ordinary Lives. The story you've heard today is more than just a tale. It's a seed of empathy and understanding. When we truly listen to each other's experiences, we don't just hear a story, we become part of it. And this is how we scale kindness, one story, one conversation at a time. By recognizing the value in every life, we create ripples of connection that can transform our communities and beyond. So, carry this story with you. Let it inspire you to listen more deeply to others. Until next time, remember that every life tells a tale worth hearing, and every act of kindness, no matter how small, has the power to create extraordinary change, one step at a time.